was shameful, Treasurer, Bala Yakubu, Financial Secretary, while Mr. Robert Abraham is a member. Professor Tala Ngarka of the Taraba University lauded the appointment of Mr. Simon Robert as Tarkambu.
The newly turbaned paramount ruler of the Kambu in Nigeria. Hitherto we had only Miangwas, and so coordinating approval was not easy. Then His Royal Majesty Chief Baji II appointed and coronated a leader for us with that title. This is his maiden visit to Jalingo, so we're here to receive him and celebrate that appointment.
Traditional dances feature at the many cultural celebration. Edward Kochomalum, TV Taraba News.
It was a celebration of a life well spent as the remains of late Iya Nwa and the reform was committed to Mother Earth in her hometown, Temia in Usa local government area of Taraba State. The burial, which was preceded with a funeral service, attracted dignitaries from far and near, relations and friends of the family and the deceased. TV Taraba's Tankubaka Gangun was there and now to tell us more.
The remains of late Iya Noah and the Refun left the Takum General Hospital for her final resting place in Tamia in Usa local government area. And on arrival, the body was taken to the family compound by a casket carrier in a colorful mode. And then this. With that done, Ms. Tangsom Yakubu proceeded to read the biography of late Iya Noah and Derfun, shortly after which good and heart-touching testimonies on the life of the deceased took center stage. According to all those who spoke, the late Iya lives a simple life, a friend to all and a lover of God, as even in her old age, she always paid her tithes as well as attended church programs. Delivering a sermon, Reverend Elisha Sabo of the Reformed Church of Christ for Nations, RCCN Imbia Control Center, titled his message, "Blessed are those who die in the Lord," said every believer who dies in the Lord is again, adding that the disease has gone to be with her Creator. Reverend Sabo, who took his biblical reading from 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 verse 13, said the good testimony about late Iya Noah and Derfun were clear indications that heaven was rejoicing over her coming and enjoying those present to live a worthy life that is worthy of emulation. The burial rites were performed by the resident pastor of RCC and Tamia.
For as much as it pleased God to take away the life of our mother, she was made earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, in the name of God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit.
Speaking shortly in an interview, one of the late Iya Noah and Derfun's grandson, who is the member representing Usa constituency in the Taraba State House of Assembly, Honorable Habila Timothy Anderfun, described the death of Iya as a great loss and that her death has created a big vacuum that can hardly be filled. Honorable Anderfun further said his late grandmother had lived a fulfilled life, saying that she will be greatly missed not only by the family but the entire people of the area, as she was a rallying point for all the people.
I feel fulfilled and I feel challenged. Fulfilled in the sense that she had lived her own life. I am challenged in the sense that I pray that God will give me the grace that when He calls me home, people should also give good testimonies about me.
Also speaking, the chairman of Osaluku government area, Honorable Remamskwe Hassan Karma, said the people of Osa will miss Iya Nungwa greatly and prayed God to give the family the fortitude to bear the great loss.
I am here today to celebrate a life well spent of one of our own, the grandmother of the honorable member representing Osa constituency in person of Honorable Abila Timothy and Anderefun. Why I said we are celebrating is because it hardly these days you will see a person spending over 100 years on earth, and this woman has spent over 110 years. That is why I said we are celebrating life well spent.
Late Iya Nungwa Anderefun was born on the 28th of September 1910 and gave her life to Christ. Tankoboka Gangum, TV, Taraba News.
And to wrap up the news, beware of scam. Disregard any message that you are a beneficiary of COVID-19 fund or your account has been credited by NCDC. Delete immediately and do not share. That has been the news. I am Dorcas Ganten. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Good morning.
And welcome to this week's edition of the program, Hope There. The forum is an initiative of the Office of the Wife of the Taraba State Governor, Barrister Anna Dimes Dixon. The essence is to project activities relating to women, youth, and the less privileged in the society. My name is Lynn Ada, and I've been joined on this program this moment by the Honorable Commissioner for Social Development, Mrs. Bridget K. Tua. Welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
And next to her is Senda Benjamin. Senda Benjamin is a psychologist with the Hope Health Center, a subsidiary of the Hope Affairs Foundation. And also welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Now, let me start with the Honorable Commissioner. The general belief is that the care of children is the responsibility of parents. Do you believe it is essential?
Absolutely. It is the key responsibility of the parents to take care of their children. So I agree with that assertion.
Okay,
I also agree that the responsibility of raising a child is a responsibility of the parents.
Now, recently, a woman was arrested in one of the areas in the part of the state. On allegations that she's taken away a lot of children, rather kidnapping or trafficking of children. Now, how does your ministry receive such kind of information?
We received that information with shock, great shock. It was surprising to us. that somebody will go and collect people's children in the name of going to train them. Children of 3-year-old children, 4 years. You collect them from their mother. How do you now take care of them? I wondered. So I received the news with great shock.
As a psychologist, what then comes to your mind when you hear stories like that?
Unlike her, it is not a shocking thing to people like us who are in the profession of psychology. Reason being that human beings are always going to expect other people. It's a nature to some extent. And then the second reason why we are not shocked about it is that it is becoming more clear that in Taraba State we are also having this share of problem. We should not be thinking that it is only other states that are having the problem, but we are also having the same problem like other states. So I receive it as an eye-opener and then a guideline towards a better way of handling the problem than the way we used to handle it. That's what I receive, because it's an issue that is general. Every state is having its own kind of challenges relating to trafficking. Only that our own now is becoming more visible than others in recent times.
Now, it was alleged that some of the parents even willingly gave out their children for the demand to take away. Now, why do you think have been responsible for this type of problem? Let me start with you before I come to the
All right, trafficking, they come in the name of an organization, usually religious organizations. And then they came in order to persuade people, making them to think that they are going to take care of those children in a better manner, which is usually not the case at the end of the day. So the belief system of people is one of the reasons that women hold the challenges on ground. When you have a family of 5 and you don't have anything to give them, the children becomes a challenge for you. It becomes a burden. Some people will wish to give it out, to be able to ease the pain of the daily struggle of what to give the children to eat. And then the other reason may be the conflict, because sometimes there are conflict in some families where the parents will decide to part without arranging for a better place for children. And then sometimes it's a belief. In some communities, there are communities that are having beliefs. Some children that are coming with developmental milestones and challenges are just left out or sent out or banished for some. And I think there is also an issue of lack of knowledge of what those children are going to be subjected to at the end of the day. So I think these are some of the reasons.
Okay, Honorable Commissioner, how can you see that the responsible? Somebody to give back to children and decide to just give somebody and say, take them out?
I first of all see it as desperation. Some of the parents are desperate, maybe to give their children better life according to them, and then they don't have the means to do it. So when somebody comes to them and poses as if she's going to give the children the better education, they will now surrender their children. I also see it as ignorance, because it's lack of knowledge, just like you said, that will make somebody give out a 3-year-old child for whatever reason. So these are some of the reasons I see it.
Okay. Now let's talk about child abandonment or protection. Now sometimes you see a lot of people give back to children, and along the line they just abandon those children to their fate. Now, what could have been responsible for the damage?
All right. Usually these are kind of social problems, and then they don't have single reason that maybe 10 people do the same thing because of one reason. Different individuals have different reasons for giving out children at certain levels in their lives. But some of the reasons are, one, if to hold a child happen to be pregnant socially, she's likely to have a trauma going on, and she's likely to abandon that child at the end of the day because of the pain of facing the realities of day-to-day business of raising of the child. Other reasons may traumatize it sometimes. Some people would decide to lay the child out for somebody. And then sometimes people relate it to issue of poverty, like I said in the beginning. Somebody will decide that let me reduce the number of the pain and the work I am going to do for somebody to take it, and then so that the person will take the responsibility of what I should do. And then sometimes I will also relate it to the issue of lack of the knowledge of the human right that exists in humanity. Some people don't know that a child has a right to education, had a right to health care, had a right to a safe environment from his parents. The child has a right for protection generally. They don't know that aspect of the constitution of this country. So lack of that knowledge will allow somebody to just give his own child very simply like that, and then from that aspect he can be thinking that it is better for him to lead on such a child. These are some of the things I think.
Okay, Honorable Commissioner, how can parents abandon children?
In addition to what he has said, sometimes you are not prepared for. You're bound to have such problems and to abandon the children. Maybe because of reasons created or caused by yourself, or those that are caused by circumstances, just like he rightly said. So such parents are bound to abandon their children, not being ready or prepared to have the children can cause that. Then poverty can also be part of the problems. When you really want to do it, but you don't have any way. You can, sometimes people will, even farmers, you can farm, think you are doing your best, but the yield may not come out the way you expected. You will be targeting that if I farm this portion of land, I'll be able to take care of my children this way, and then it doesn't come out well, maybe because of natural disaster or whatever reason. The yield did not come out well, then you are bound to have problems. So be forced to abandon your children.
Okay. Mr. Sanda, if you recall, recently there has been increase probably in traffic, as you said, like not only in Taraba. What has been responsible for that? How can we address some of these challenges?
Your question is actually to the responsibility, and then how can we tackle it? Like we rightly said in the beginning, the cause of these things is not only one. There are numerous causes, ranging from poverty to lack of knowledge, to the issue of the faith of an individual, or I would say the religious belief of an individual. From the Muslim perspective, you have the Al-Majri, who are exploited in some areas. In the Christendom, there are NGOs who come in the name of religion to pick some children to. The tool that we will use is to create adequate awareness. Let there be knowledge of the implication of all these kind of problems. When a child is abandoned, one child is having the capability of destroying the whole community at the end of the day, if it's not properly taken care of at the end of the day. An abandoned child is a problem to the whole country. It's also a problem to the state where he is residing or wherever he is, because these are the kind of children that are usually used by some people who are trying to create mayhem in the communities. And then, if not properly, the way to go. And the other thing, I want us to have a situation whereby religious leaders will come out to talk about it, because people tend to believe what their religious leaders say more than other people. So I think if we have religious leaders talking about this, in the government, as it is already doing, in Taraba, we just recently had that there is an arrest that has been made. The government has a lot to do in this aspect, in creating awareness. And then on the area of the challenges that we are having in communicating those informations, we will be able to use our media houses like we are here, radio, television, and other places, to communicate to that person that is in the village who is not having access to electricity through his radio, because we have people are always having radio nowadays, so that we get the picture of the problem that the children will be subjected to, not the idea that it is existing. Because most of the times, those people in the village don't understand what exactly the children are going through in the cities or wherever they are taken to. I think this will go a long way.
Commissioner, what is your perspective?
You rightly said the best is National Orientation Agency can also help in creating awareness to parents to know that it is not good. And then secondly, such people that are engaged in such activities of trafficking, when found, should be dealt with so that it will serve as a deterrent to others who are planning to do it. When somebody is severely dealt with, others will be afraid to traffic children. Then even the parents will have no choice but to keep their children.
Okay. Now, recently the International Parenting or Parents' Day was observed throughout the world. They set aside by the United Nations, maybe remember the role of parents in the society. Now, if you are given the opportunity, let's say, to advise parents in relation to their children, what will you say?
I will advise them, especially the mothers, to keep their children. If God gives you a child, God, and you trust in that God, same God that gave you that child, no matter your situation, you will be able to take care of that child. It might not be in the best way you want, but at least you will. There is a story that was told of one woman in Kenya that had no food and had children. So every day she would pack stones and put inside her pot and put on the fire, just to give the children hope. And some of them will wait till they sleep, hoping that their mother's food is going to be ready for them to eat. And they may wait till they fall asleep, until it was discovered by the elder children, those ones that were a bit elderly. So they now raised an alarm and people came to their aid. So if a woman, if you carry a pregnancy for 9 months and give birth to that child, no matter what, there's no condition that should let you, that will warrant you giving up that child for any reason at all. So they should be patient, and then so neighbors that are around that are better to do should help those who cannot afford to take care of themselves. That is my advice.
Okay. I will start by saying it is a choice to be pregnant in the beginning. You may decide to have as much as children as you have. But what I will tell the parent is that children don't come with guidelines on how to raise them. They don't come with, maybe a design way of doing it, how to make it better. Children always come to the world with needs. They come with social needs, they come with psychological needs, they come with sort of needs from the parents. So therefore, if you realize this is a challenge, you have to be able to plan before having a child. I think that is very important. When you know that your income is not enough to cater for 7 children, there is a need to think before you start even the family to the level of that. If you know that you cannot be able to take care of these children, there is no need of creating the problem in the beginning to some extent. I know this is going to sound controversial to some people, but this is the plain truth. We have the power to make a decision to have 7 children or 8 children. It is within our powers. We also have the power to have 2 and to be able to take good care of those 2 children. So I always want the parents to use these powers that we have, this ability to make a decision before it becomes a big problem. Can we go ahead and be making these kind of decisions that will not endanger some children or put some children in a level that they are subhumans in the society, so that you cannot go to the level of even wanting somebody to pick your child and raise it for you, and then you can be able to raise your child within your own income, whatever the challenge may be. And then the second thing I would say is that whatever the challenge is, your child will grow up better under your care, because you know some of the times there are challenges that you are the only person that will know in your child. When your child is coming up in another family, there are challenges that they may not be able to deal with. And the third thing is that having such kind of experience. So the basic thing is that have a good plan and then decide not to do it even if somebody persuades you to give your child out for no reasons. I think these are what I would suggest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as a psychologist, what it is that we also noticed has been increase also in drug abuse, especially among the youths. Now, in your center, what are you people doing probably to check some of these challenges?
Before I go into this, I would just want to sincerely appreciate Her Excellency, the wife of Executive Governor of Taraba State, for even understanding this kind of challenge from the beginning to create a center called Hope Health Center, where we are working with those who are abusing drugs. 75% of those who are working with are those who are at the verge of becoming useless to themselves, to their family, and to the society at large. These are the kind of people who are on the street, and some of them are off the street. Children of the street on the street are those who usually go back home to sleep, and there are children of the street that stays on the street for whatever reason. They eat there, they sleep there, and so these are the kind of people we are trying to interact with. We give them hope, we treat them, we give them psychotherapy. It's a well-organized clinic that is specific for drug abusers and for those who are having these kind of challenges. We've been seeing ladies who are abandoned on the street and they grow to the level of having their own children on the street. Imagine a girl of 18 who has been abandoned by her parents, happen to grow on the street and still become pregnant. And she doesn't have anywhere to go to stay with the child. So these are the kind of people we are having. They are here in Jalingo, they are here in Taraba State. And these are the kind of work we are doing. So we try to give them hope. There is a hope skill acquisition whenever they are ready to have skill acquisition. In a form of reintegration, we take them there after being fully treated from their drug abuse and their challenges. We take them to the skill acquisition where they are given a kind of skill that they will be able to be sustaining themselves to get some income in order to live as good citizens of this state and good citizens of Nigeria. These are the kind of work we do.
Okay. Honorable Commissioner, listening to what the psychologists will go for Hope Health Center has said, what is your ministry doing probably in relation to some of these challenges that deal with youth and drugs and so on and so forth?
Yes, our ministry is also doing a lot. Children, we have a remind home where we keep children, minors that are supposed to be in the prison but because they are not of age. We keep them and then we guide them. We collaborate with the Hope Afresh. We give them skills that after that place they will become better human beings. We also take care of we have a workshop for them where they are trained that even in their disability they should be useful to themselves. So these are some of the things we also do, most of which we collaborate with the Hope Afresh. Most of the things we do are, I think, similar to what Mama is doing. So we do collaborate with her to do a lot.
Okay. Mr. Samba, what are those peculiar things that you see are common, maybe in the areas you deal with in your health center? What are those common things that you experience?
Common things among those who are abusing drugs.
Yes.
We come to understand that most of these people that are abusing drugs have other diseases that are unattended to. They don't know it, their parents don't know that they are sick, and they themselves don't know that they are having other diseases. That is why our component has a component of assessing some of the diseases, HIV, AIDS, and other things. It's a big challenge that somebody who is an addict is also having other chronic illness, usually because they are likely to be exposed to such kind of behaviors that will expose them to having all those kind of diseases. The second thing is that there's a stigma around those who are abusing drugs and the young people who are having these challenges. Every child has his own developmental milestones. When you are growing, there are challenges that usually people are faced. So some people are actually abandoning their children because of their developmental milestones, the challenges they see on the way. And then the third one we also notice is that children with disabilities are left out in some houses, in some communities. when a child is having a disability, somebody who is having sickle cell anemia, those who are having chronic diseases that cannot be taken care of in a short time, the parents get tired and then they abandon such children to the society to deal with it. So these are also some of these children, and there are young girls that are having these kind of disabilities and problems who happen to be on the street and are likely to be impregnated by other guys on the street. So all these are a web of a lot of problems that we usually face on a daily basis. So we are having a kind of a team, a medical team that is looking at all these antecedences in order to address it separately. And these are some of the challenges that I can recall at the moment.
Let me ask this question quickly.
Okay.
Parents, do they have a role to play maybe in addressing some of these issues?
Yeah, parent has a role to play because we also invite parents sometimes. There is a time we have called recreational day. There is a kind of a day we will invite parents only so that they can come and interact with their children in an environment that is conducive, where they will be honest to each other. They will say what they feel on the treatment they are receiving at home, and the parent will also say what they feel on the kind of behavior that has changed in their children. In the process, we have a level where we harmonize the relationships. We reconnect some people back to their parents. Sometimes we are able to connect some people to go back to school and all that. And then parents has a very big role to play, because the stigma is usually coming from parents most of the times, because they usually label children that are having this kind of drug abuse problems as criminals, just by having a drug abuse problem and all that. So we try to educate people that this is a disease. One of those diseases that we have in the world is drug abuse. So if it is treated as such, it will be of good help.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Honorable Commissioner, presently the world as a whole is passing through a pandemic of COVID-19. Now, what are parents expected to do, maybe towards contributing to controlling the spread of this disease?
Parents are supposed to keep high, especially the mothers. I always hammer on the mothers, because mothers are the home front. They are always at home and they are supposed to take care of the home. So the parents are supposed to keep good hygiene. If you keep your environment clean, you are not only this pandemic, most of these viruses enter people because of the dirty environment. So the most important thing is to keep your home clean. And secondly, the parents should encourage their children to always wash a place, even in the home, where there should be this bucket and water for children to be washing their hands all the time. And they should encourage the children, wherever, all the time, they should always wash their hands as they are going out or coming in, or after playing for a while, they should go and wash their hands. And then they should encourage them to use face masks anytime they are going out to enter the public, like marketplace, the pandemic.
Okay, Mr. Sandra, briefly.
Just like she rightly said, a behavior that has been, practiced for a very long time cannot just stop overnight. Families usually have this kind of behavior of living without this personal hygiene. So in as much you need your children to adjust, you should be able to channel the knowledge in a way that is going to be palatable for them to take. You should make it as a duty to have it as something that is very important. The two parents should be seen talking about it all the time. Because if it is only one person that is talking about it, children has a tendency of thinking that it is a business of my mother, my father doesn't say anything about it. So there is a need for collective collaboration in the family to make sure that all the children are taking this serious, not as a common thing, so that they can be able to adjust. I think that is very much.
Time is on our side. I think we'll draw the curtain here. Honorable Commissioner, I would like to sincerely thank you for participating in our program. We hope that next time I will invite you to be willing to talk to us also. Mr. Benjamin Sander, we also thank you most sincerely for agreeing to participate in our program. We hope that next time when we invite you also to come and talk to us about some of these challenges, you'll be willing to do so. So thank you very much for coming to our platform.
Thank you.
Viewers, for the past 25 minutes or so, we have been discussing with the Honorable Commissioner for Social Development, Mrs. Bridget Chua, Mr. Benjamin Sender, a psychologist with the Hope Health Center, affiliates of the Hope Affairs Foundation here in Taraba. Join us again same time next week for another interesting edition of the program. Bye-bye. And welcome to this week's edition of the program, Hope There. The forum is an initiative of the Office of the Wife of the Taraba State Governor, Barrister Anna Dimes Tuxenisha. The essence is to project activities relating to women, youth, and the less privileged in the society. My name is Lynn Ada, and I've been joined on this program this moment by the Honorable Commissioner for Social Development, Mrs. Bridget K. Chua. Welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
And next to her is Sender Benjamin. Sender Benjamin is a psychologist with the Hope Health Center, a subsidiary of the Hope Affairs Foundation. So you're also welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Now, let me start with the Honorable Commissioner. The general belief is that the care of children is the responsibility of parents. Do you believe it is essential?
Absolutely.
hanzari kar a bar mu a baya yau fa inda baka da shi to babu wanda zai jiro ya baka inda da ko sanai sai nayi inda sana'a ce sai nayi
yeah S to the K easy yeah you know easy yeah rapping the easy yeah no easy yeah yayi DJ Gabazim jama'a kai yau da nake son faɗa ne bari da mako wani ɗan takaitaccen labari tukuna wato wani ɗan Daudu ne ya gama ainihin yawan balaguransa sai dawo Kaduna wato ya zauna kullum ana sallah da shi a masallaci azhar irin asuba azhar la'asar magariba isha kowane lokaci aka ce ai ya riga canza wata rana neman ladan kawai aka ce to a saka shi mana aka mai sai yadda shikenan wata rana ana cikin sallar azhar kai liman ka zauna aka yi ta yar karshe kawai kana zan gaya muku idan muka dawo daga wannan tallar saboda a kowane lokaci kuma a shi sa yau kuke tare da mu ma a wannan shirin mai suna fiskar jarumai suna na Sa'id Funky Malam kuma wato ba ni kadai bane a nan cikin studio ina tare da DJ Gabanze show your color. Nice one, peace. Kuma nan kuma da hannun haguna wato ina tare da Lily mai entertainment news. Lily gare ki.
Yau dai zan fara kawo muku labari ne daga music industry wato masu wakoki. Za mu fara da wato Plateau State da suna na san kun yi guessing Jesse Jags.
Ya za ki ce sun yi guessing bayan
sun yi guessing mai suna ilimi
sosai. Ma dan Taraba ne ai.
Amma MI bai kwana biyu ba da sakewa ko ba haka ba.
Shi kwana 8
shi kwana 7. Ka ban nufan ba da wannan entertainment.
Na kyale ki.
Jesse Jags ne ya fito da sabon waka kwanakin nan da kuma sabon video. Suna Murder Them. Za ku ce yawwa.
Murder Them a kashe su?
Wace irin suna ne haka nan. Amma wakan da ya haɗu. Kuma duk ran da mun samu Jesse Jags.
Wace irin waka ce za a ce ta haɗu bayan cewa a kashe su?
Wakan dai ta haɗu ba mu san dalilin da ya sa aka yi wannan waka ba, shi na ce duk ran da muka gayyace Jesse Jags muka samu shi a nan studio sai mu bincika da kyau mu gane dalilin da ya sa wannan irin sunan ya fito.
Kin san kuwa hira da shi sai kana daga nesa.
Saboda
mutum ya fara kiran kisa a waka.
Sai a hankali. Abin sai a hankali.
To.
Kuma ka kai mai wani tsiya ba haka.
Ba ruwa na tambayoyi kawai zan masa.
Kuma ya canza kamaninsa. Ba Jesse Jags da muka sani a da ba yana da wani dan karamin punk hakan nan ko menene amma yanzu ga yanan ya sa kala a gashin shi yanzu jazir kuma dreadlocks yayi dada.
Ga cunkoso gashi kuma gaja ne gashin sai ki rasa
ina muna nuna muku hotuna saboda ku gane nufin mu.
To in banda yanzu in banda Jesse Jags ya za ka zama da kanka kaman kan zakara.
Ka dai a hankali fa kaji an ce Murder Them.
Lallai kuwa fa baki na alaikum.
Sannan kuma akwai wani ne daga Kannywood zuwa India. Dama shi yana acting ne a Kano yanzu yana India har yana wakoki a cikin India yaren India wato Hindu kenan ko yaya.
To ga kin san yaren suna da yawa watakila ko Hindun ko Hindumantu.
Ina maganan Amin Khan. Zai zama wai kuna nan da yawa da kuka waye shi da yana acting a Kano. Ko?
Haka kuwa.
Za ku ga hotunan shi?
Gashi nan ko da ba India lokacin da ake na sosai ko na san wannan labarin. Yanzu kin ga kamar nan lokacin da ana musu kwalliya kin ga shi ma ana masa kwalliya kenan. Wato lokacin da ake daukan hoton wakansa kenan yace wakansa na farko kenan da yayi da yaren India kuma a cikin India.
A gurin shooting video kenan.
Shi ne Kano fa tsabibin mutum ne fa.
Abun mamaki. Amma kuma na gane wai an Kano da yawan su sun iya suna saurin koyon yaren India.
To ai abin yau da gobe. An kika je gidan Sulman daga sauransu dole ne a ce sun yaren ne. Kamar yanzu na ga yan Kannywood ma da suke acting ma yawancin su yanzu suna dan zuwa India su dan samu wato jaruman India su dan hada da nasu su dan gauraya sai su dawo da shi.
Kamar yadda ma muka yi magana da Azina Alinu. Yana yawan zuwa India.
Shi yana yawan zuwa India tun da sun ma taba bashi kyauta ai. Yana kokari yau kamar wani ma na ji film da na gani na wanda Jamila na gudu na ciki ko da me sunan wannan wawa wanda yake comedy din nan dan dono ne ko wane ne dan auta yawa da shi suna ji ko ina ji su biyu ne da aka kai su India da kuma wasu su ma gaulayen India aka hada aka hada su daya da suka yi wallahi kin ga film da abun ban dariya ga sunan sai tikara kin ga sun ga ta Jamila na gudu ga ta katuwa to kin ga su sirara ne kin ga kamar wannan amma sai tikarawa take
kenan so duk dai mun hada muna ma kowa murna da wayanda dama sun yi shiru yanzu sun ci gaba da waka da wanda sun kara girma daga wani level zuwa wani kuma daban
sosai kuwa to kun ji daga bakin Lilian wato mun ka ta kawo muku wato labarai da zafin su a entertainment news a cikin wannan shirin namu fiskar jarumai wato kamar yadda muke cewa to komai da ci gaba ke nema nan kudu suna ci gaba arewa ma suna ci gaba wato ko ta ina dai ana neman bunƙasa ne saboda a haye wato a rika cuɗanya da duniya gabaki daya muna yi da America muna yi da India muna yi da Ingila wata ran zamu koma har cikin Chinese ma sai mun ma muna hiya bilal ne ke gani ni na takobin nan zan koya kuma saboda ke zan koyi na takobi mana in kika mun
canza gurin zamana
ne kisa suna challa takobin ga in kika matsayin challa kawai kin gane ko sai dan kwashe miki ga aski zan rika miki da takobin
ko dai kai mai irin gashin Jesse Jan
matan bakata to jama'a wato entertainment news kenan muka ji kuma bayan hakan nan zamu dan dakata nan zamu je mu dawo mu dan sha ruwa mu dawo amma kafin mu dawo zamu zo da wani shahararren mawaki dan arewa dan Kano ko wance dan Kaduna ne ma ko da ke zama ya a Kaduna
dan Kano zama ne kawai a Kaduna
ko da ke daga baya kuma sai ya dawo Lagos a nan ya saka ta gwagwarmaya da su da sauransu sai mun dawo wato zamu nuna muku kowa ya wannan
sai mun dawo
Masha Allah na gaya muku zamu dawo kuma gashi mun sake dawo ko lilin Masha Allah na riga na gaya muku tun namu kuma wannan shirye fiskar jarumai ba ma bata lokaci ba ma sanya duk abin da muka ce zamu kawo duk wanda muka ce zamu kawo saboda haka yau muna tare da Sultan Abdul
na yi farin ciki
Sultan Abdul
Haji Sa'id
barka zuwa Sultan
alhamdulillah na gode
to yanzu ainihin ka dai wato Abdul ko Shu'aibu Abdul ne ko Abdul Shu'aibu
sunana Shu'aibu
Abdullahi yes. Beautiful dan Kano ne ko dai Kaduna ko ina
daga Kabara kofar Kwaro a Kano
gidan kace Kabara ne tana da sani Kabara Allah ji kan rai
amin so
iko Allah a ce ashe ainihin ba Kano ne gon
gaba da baya nan cikin gidan sarki kuwa
lallai kuwa ashe balaguro kai da ka koma Kaduna
ka san duk mai son ci gaba bai zama guri guda
lallai kuwa kai magana nan gurin ya aka ka shiga waka tuku
waka baiwa ce Allah ya yi mun kuma gaskiya tun ina karami na ina tasowa kowa ya ji baiwar da Allah ya za ta iya bani duk wani abu da na ke son in samu a rayuwa
kwarai kuwa ke sabon nesa na yarda da maganarsa lokacin ina Port Harcourt ba zan manta ba lokacin da aka yi wato kwallon duniya Nigeria 99
yes sanda Nigeria ta ɗauki nauyin gabatar da
World Cup ba kwarai kuwa a lokacin da ina Port Harcourt na ji wata waka da ya rairaya lokacin da ake tallan abin nan din kwallon kafin a zuwa fara da kace barkan ku da zuwa kasa bari da bari ya fiye miki kiji saboda ni wanda murya
bari in tuna ina ganin ka san an shekarun sun dan wuce da aka yi wannan abun kusan shekara 10
na san dai ba za ka manta da wannan
amma bayan da za a yi abin da ya fito daga kwakwalwa na in manta
dan
Aisa barkan ku da zuwa kasar mu mai abinci kasa mai al'adun gargajiya mana yi muku barka da zuwa ku huta lafiya gashi dai Hausa ce kuma a Lagos aka
amma ya kai ka samu shiga tukun kuma kana
yanda aka yi wato an riga an gama zaben waɗanda za su gabatar da wakan so sai aka kawo wani wanda suka shi mai gabatar da dusa dina lokacin ana ce mishi Lemmy Jackson
na san
sai da aka yi ta gwaji dai ba a samu ba sai ce a ko wani sabon zuwa ko ana ce mishi Sultan Abdul ba Kano ne bari a je a kawo shi suna wannan ne makiyayin mai kiwon shanu a cikin su taka sai ce to yanzu yanda za a yi ga wannan takardan ka duba fassarar da aka yi in bai yi daidai ba ka gyara da na duba ko na ga akwai kwafsi
na kwafsa wakar zaki
na yi kokari na yi gyara shine sai ce to ka sai yanda za a yi yanzu shiga ɗakin waka da vocal booth karera in ji ashe da na shiga cikin vocal booth zan ba su kaman misalin yadda waka ya kamata ya kasance sai ya ce min injiniya record him dauke shi ina shiga ku barkan ku da zuwa kasar mu mai abinci kasa mai al'adun gargajiya muna yi muku barka da zuwa ku huta lafiya sai na fito na ce mishi yadda ya kamata ya ce a shikenan ka gama ai mun riga mun dauka ruwa sai ya kasance baka samun dama ka gabatar da abubuwan da kake so ka gabatar to da naga abun ya riga ya kai ni nan kuma matsalolin da na samu lokacin bacin wannan Najeriya 99 din na sassamu
kabilanci da sauransu
yawa wasu abubuwa dai da yawa
da shakka muna tare da wato sultan har yanzu a fiskar jarumai kuma wato ba na so ku je ko ina saboda za mu ci gaba da tattaunawa da shi akan labarinsa da wayan sabubuwa da yi da sauransu. Na san yayi videos da mutane manya-manyan artists a nan Lagos sauransu. So idan muka dawo za mu ci gaba da Sultan Abdul.
Akan magana aure, a yi aure da gaggawa, to wannan mu ba al'ada ba ce, musulunci ne.
Yau ina da aure, ina da shekara 40, na samu diyana guda 13.
Matukar kana da yarka in Allah ya kaddara ta balaga, to in ta balaga har Allah ya kaddara ta samu miji, to abin da ya fi wajibi akan ka kawai ka aure da ita. In har Allah ya kaddara ta samu miji, in ma akwai wannan a cikin hakan wani zai iya auren kuma ba ta je makaranta, wani zai iya auren ko ta ba ta je aiki, to amma mafi muhimmanci in ka aura ka tsara abarka kamar da yake a cikin alkur'ani da hadisan annabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Saboda haka shi ne yasa kake ganin ƴaƴanmu sun balaga muke musu aure da wuri, ba wani abu nan ba al'ada ba ce, a wannan musulunci ne.
Guda 13 nan muna tare har Allah ya kawo yanayin zan musu aure. Auren nan da zan musu shekara 15 nake musu aure. Sun shekara 2 kuma za su samu 'ya'yansu.
Saboda haka kuma auren nan da wuri shi yake sa akan samu mafi yawan zaman lafiya tsakanin mace da miji. Dan in ka ce sai ka bar ta kai, dan akan ce akwai yan boko akwai dan boko.
Inda ke jawo mata ƙanana a ce su yi saurin aure, dole ne su yi saurin aure. Wata tana nan a yarda budurwa ne ba budurwa ba, sai ciki ya runguma sai a kai gurin dokta sai a ce a cire ciki. Wata kamiya kai ta gidan miji an cire ciki ba ɗaya ba ba biyu ba ba uku ba, wai za a ɗaura aure a kai mace ko a kai konko. Yanzu da Fulani da Hausa da kowane irin kabila an taru an watse an lalace, sai dai Allah kawai mana gyaran Ubangiji. Ba ƙarya nake ba wannan zance da nake yi.
Mun sake mun dawo ga munan daram dam a zaune a shirin da kuke so kuke kauna fiskar jarumai. So bari mu dan tattauna kuma tare da kai. Kasan aka ce aure da sauri akwai albarka ciki, ko za ka gaya mana wani irin albarka ke samu yin aure da sauri?
Gaskiya kam aure da sauri yakan kawo ci gaba wajen kasancewa ka fara samun iyali cikin lokaci, sai kaga kafin ka kai wasu shekaru 'ya'yanka sun girma tare da kai, da kuma abubuwa sun fara ɗaukar rayuwa da kansu ta cikin hanyar tarbiyoyin da kake basu da wasu abubuwa haka fiye da irin auren latti. To amma kasancewan yadda abubuwa suke na rayuwar yau, ka gane yakan ja wasu ya kasance ba wai ba su son yin auren ba, ka san harkokin rayuwa na yau.
A kasafe zanen kamar arewa, ka gane rayuwar ba kamar da yadda aka saba ba, ko ba haka bale ba kamar da aka saba ba. Da sai ka ga ba a jima in ba mai kuɗi ba za a ba, me kake gani ke jawo yana abubuwan kamar dai na mawa
gaskiya abubuwan da ke jawo irin waɗannan abubuwan wasu ba wani abu bane illa kwaɗayi, musamman masu cewa sai mai kuɗi sai mai mota. Yawancin iyayenmu ai sanda suka yi aure sun auri mazajensu ne, ubanninmu kenan. Tun ba su soyayya ne tsabarta tsantsan da kuɗin da gidajen da yawancin wasu sun kasance masu kwaɗayin rayuwa. To yakan sa ka ga auren ya zo wanda Allah ya riga ya kaddara cewa mijin ne wannan, sai ka ga an samu matsala ko daga wurin ita matar ko kuma wani lokaci ma daga wurin iyaye.
Ba shakka,
musamman sai dai amun gafara.
Ka san kamar ma yadda addini ma ya ce a yi ne, ka gane ko aka ce idan yarinya tana son mutum kuma shi wannan yaron yana son ta, abin da aka ce aka yi a yi bincike saboda a san wato juna irin halaye da sauransu, saboda in za a wanye lafiya.
Haka ne
sosai. Ya kamar labarin da kika gaya mun ne, wanda
na san sai ka kawo wannan labarin
sai kamar labarin ta gaya mun ne wato wani mutum ne yana hawa wani katon mota ya ce yana son da sauransu ina ji
ya isa ya isa
sai ga shi yanzu mai neman ta baburi ke hawa
babur din ma irin
kuma bala isan shi take
fanki mala wala abun shari
ba yadda za ta yi kenan
ita rayuwa haka take da sauransu
Allah ne ya jarabce ta
sosai kwarai kuwa a yanzu ta yi hankali ta yi hankali
ina ganin yanzu ko mai jaki za ta aure ba samu rufin asiri ba
a rika hawa jaki ana zuwa dawa ba mana to Shaibu yanzu nan wani shawara za ka ba matasa especially 'yan arewa kasan yanzu nan abin da ya samu muke wannan shiri kenan yanzu nan don akwai wato matasa da yawa da suka baro arewa suka zo wato gwagwarmaya saboda neman tuwo da sauransu wasu suna fannin waka ga ma wanda suke waka ma yanzu sun daina waka da Hausa saboda in suka yi da Hausan ba zai kai ga manzilin da za su iya samun kuɗi da sauri ba su ma suna soyawa ce suna nan kamar The Bunch suna nan kamar MI Ice Prince da sauransu ka gane ta kun kai magana ce daga baya za su zo yanzu wani shawara zaka ba mutane
shawaran da zan ba mutane musamman ga 'yan arewa
sosai
duk yadda ta kasance a kokari a nemi ilimi ilimi shine kaman garkuwa shine kuma abin da zai sa ka samu idan ka ya bude ka waye ka fahimci yadda abubuwan suke tafiya
wato kowa ya kokari ya nemi ilimi kafin ma ya bar gida in ya so da yanda ta kasance zaka iya dauko wato certificate ɗinka ka rustin ka je ka nemi aiki da sauransu ba mu gama da tattauna da kai ba dan kai zaka cashe mana a gidan nan
ba da
jama'a wato muna tare har yanzu da Sultan Abdul kuma wato zai dawo ya cashe da wata waka da ya wasa kanawa da sauransu na daɗe ina son wakan nan saboda haka kar ku je ko ina sai mun dawo Jarabe yake kallo wato tare da ni Said Funky Malam da wannan yar kyakkyawar yanko Lili ba da ke nake ba Said barka da zuwa ya kake
lafiya lau
wannan kwalban da kasa a fiska lafiya kuwa
lafiya lau
to sunan ka Said kuma ga Hausa ran gadawa bakin ka yake kaji Hausa hakan nan
to Funky yadda ka sani an haife na Katsina kuma a Katsina da girma nan ne primary school na ji na secondary school a Katsina na je Imo na secondary school na dawo Katsina ne NCE na je biyu ne degree na dawo Katsina ne NYC dina
kuma dai
to ga ka dole zai jawo
harkan dai Katsina nan
ni dan Delta ne
Delta ina kina